to my YouTube channel, okay? You tuned in for more of my 2 cents. Now, I was out here in my soft girl, okay? Putting on my lipstick, my little ruby woo, because that's what we do, because we're a soft girl. We're in our soft girl era. Let's jump into it. Because I'm not feeling soft, okay? I'm not feeling soft because it's giving scam. Before we do that, 3 points that matter most before we start our discussions. Number 1, you're not alone. Number 2, you're not crazy. Number 3, God, your creator, still loves you, and I do too. Remember that while we're talking, because some of y'all may feel like y'all are getting gut punched. I am here to shoe holes in the soft girl era scam of it all, because I do not subscribe to it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I do not subscribe to the soft girl era. I am just not going to be able to do that. Now, let me tell you what the soft woman era is, because see, there's some multiple definitions, okay? So soft girl is something totally different than what it has become over the last couple of months, I guess. This year, maybe it started last year. I think that Kevin Samuels definitely brought it into the mainstream of women being softer, and being submissive, being nicer, not really going after independence or status, but really just being available to men of great means, all right? High value men. And the conversation was back then when he was still alive, and he was doing his videos and talking to women, taking phone calls from women who had PhDs, had degrees, had, 6-figure salaries and things like that. And they wanted men who also, were high earning men they could live in luxury with, move out into these beautiful homes and take vacations and have 3 and 4 kids and all this other stuff. And so the narrative started from there with the soft girl. If y'all want that, then y'all need to be X, Y, and Z. You need to be unproblematic. You need to be his peace. You need to be his helpmeet. You need to, not cause problems, not be toxic. If he wants to have multiple women, all of that stuff, okay, is what Kevin Samuels was teaching. It's a hell no for me. But this, I believe, has snowballed into women, specifically Black women, feeling the pressure to be soft women, be softer, to not be as direct, to not be as in your face, to not really have the pressure on them to operate in what most will call their masculine energy. And that is taking care of themselves, taking care of their bills, paying for all of their expenses, their lifestyle, what they want, their households. If you're a soft woman, then a man should want to take care of you. Then a man should want to provide for you. Then a man should want to make sure that you have everything that you need because you're his queen, right? It's talking soft. It's making sure that he knows that he's loved, that everything that he needs is going to be taken care of and provided for, that you're going to be his IG bae, his TikTok dream, okay? Like, I don't pay for nothing. I get everything that I want. I just talk soft. I can't do that shit. I just can't do it. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to talk softer when my kids are 19, but right now they 5 and 7, and I gotta talk like this. That's what it's giving. But the soft woman, the soft girl era, thought process, and all of that in a nutshell for the Black community is what it was giving, what I just said. It's pretty much shape shifting to get what you want. All right? Like, I don't want to be rough. I just want to be taken care of. I want to be kept. So we're going to get into why it's a scam. But the soft girl era, because I think it's funny in the aesthetic, it describes a youth culture, and I'm reading from Wikipedia. So soft girl era describes a youth subculture that emerged among teenagers around mid to late 2019. Do y'all hear me? This is from some teeny boppers. Soft girl is a fashion style popular among some young women on social media based on a deliberately cutesy feminine look with a girly girl attitude. I'm sitting up here fucking fitting the image, okay? Like, I feel it. So Trust me, if I could talk soft and cute to y'all, I'm pretty sure I'd be able to pull a whole lot of more subscribers quicker, faster, with no problem, and tell y'all how to get a man to take care of you and do everything you want him to do. That would not be hard, because my husband is amazing. All right. I just want to put that out there. My husband is amazing. And I probably could, you know, come see the softer side of Sears, but I'm just me, you know, like, I'm just me. And I love that for me. And I love that he allows me to be me, and I don't have to act like someone else to make him feel more manly, if that makes sense. But there's respect and there's love and there is peace in our union, whether or not you're changing it up to get a man. But yeah, let's talk about the soft girl scam. So I think that it's funny because there are a lot of women who are definitely teaching you to change your demeanor, your voice, your tone, all of these things in order to land a man, keep a man, to satisfy a man, or to just be a kept woman. And I have to tell you that I don't think that that is necessary. I don't think it's necessary, because as we know, nothing's going to make a man want to do anything that he doesn't want to do. If a man does not want to commit, if a man does not want to marry you, if a man does not want to take care of you, provide for you, be loyal to you, be committed to you, be monogamous with you, there is nothing that you can look like, say, or do that's going to make him be any of those things to you. Let's start there. So that's the scam of it all, thinking that changing up your persona, your dress, your voice is going to make any of you a better choice for a man that's not ready to do any of the things that I just listed above. That's just not going to happen if that's not the desire of the man you're dealing with. And as far as baiting men with these kind of characteristics and behavior, it's like, is that you though? Is that you? Or are you turning into a builder? Bitch. I'm sorry. Are you turning into a builder bait? Or are these your real qualities? Because if these are your real qualities, you won't have to force it. You won't have to become it. It will already be you. Now, there are some things about us as women that we will grow into based off of life experience and time. There are some women who may have certain qualities about them that as they grow up, they shed them because they mature. I can speak to that profoundly because before we had children, I was a spendthrift. I loved spending money. Money we did not have. I enjoyed it. It brought me great peace to buy a little shirt here, some shoes there, some pants here, some, a purse there. I loved spending money. Often. And without regard to bills. These are just the truths. Now, granted, I was 21 when we got married. And this would last for about 4 years. Not 3 or 4 years. And I think that the lack actually made it worse. I think not having a lot made me want to spend more because I felt like I wanted things. Like, I'm sick of not being able to buy this. I'm sick of not being able to have this. I'm sick of not being able to do this. I want to. I'm going to do it because I want to. Well, I work and I'm going to. That was the energy, right? Definitely not soft girl behavior, but that was me. And that was before my heart and my values turned more towards home, which is definitely shout out to my mom, why I respect my mother so much. And I haven't even gotten to my points yet, y'all, but this is going to be a great video. My mother, who got divorced from my dad when I was 2, I'm the youngest of 4. My mom and my dad got divorced when I was 2 years old. My mom raised us as a single mother. She's never had a boyfriend outside of my dad. Since my dad got divorced, my mother has never talked to another man on the phone. My mom has never gone on a date with the man. There's never been a man in our home that was not like a deacon or something that may have come over to fix like let me think. I remember one man coming in our home to install an air conditioner, a window unit. My mama didn't drive until she was 45. So let me be very clear. Y'all may be like, well, she may have had a man come by. Nope, she didn't. Because she didn't have no car. And didn't nobody come over there. Our house was real small. And I told y'all in my video about the rapture that I slept with my mom until I was about 12, 13. So I would know if she wasn't in the bed. Okay? Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. I would know. But no, she really lived a chaste life like that after her and my father got divorced. And that was to her decision. I'm not saying that that was the right thing for everybody to do or that was the wrong thing for her. That was her choice, and I respect that for her. And I respect that for our household. It really did change my mind on a lot of things as far as access to men and what a man will or won't go for. And attractive, like what attraction is. She could have had her choice of suitors, but she did not want to have a man around her young children. And that was my mother's choice. So my point here is saying that even in her singleness, my mother still prepared her daughters for marriage. She had 3 girls and 1 son. All of us have been married. I am the only one still married to date, but all 4 of us have been married. All of us. Statistically, that is not likely for any family, especially Black women. All of us have been married once. None of us are on our second marriage. So all of us have had a husband or a wife at least one time in our lives. And with that, my mother told me at the young age of 21, I remember her say, to cherish my marriage more than things. This is real talk, y'all, because nobody's out here teaching, saying, directing, or instilling this level of wisdom. Cherish your marriage more than things. This soft woman, soft girl era is about things. It's about trips. It's about bundles. It's about lashes. It's about nails. It's about jewelry. It's about luxury. Where is the love? Where is the loyalty? Where is the honor? And not just for the relationship, but for self. To where you wouldn't sell yourself short just to be kept. If you don't want to go to work from 9 to 5, that is your business. Make sure whatever relationship you're in, you guys set goals to where you don't have to work a 9 to 5. Or become an entrepreneur before you even try to bait a man. But why exactly does the goal have to be to link a man, to catch a man, in order for you to have these other provisions? Because a man is now being seen as a means to an end instead of a means to collaborate or a means to, how do I say this, co-create. Instead of a means to collaborate and co-create, you're getting or seeking or changing up who you are to get a man to control, to take advantage of, to manipulate. Help me understand. Because soft woman era is literally saying do all of these things, personality traits, switch it up to get him. And my point in saying that I used to like things and want to buy things was because I matured. I didn't change to get my husband. I changed after we were married, and I realized that things did not matter. Especially when I wanted to get things to make me happy, but it didn't have anything to do with building the foundation of our relationship and our love. My husband didn't care about me going to buy what I wanted to buy. He never got upset. I've never had to hide stuff from him when I bought it. He knew that I wanted things, and that did make him work harder to make sure he could provide for me. But as I matured and I found the values were in my home, the values were in my marriage, the values were in the respect, the values were in me being able to self-reflect and say, sis, you got everything you need. A new purse, some new shoes. How many of them can you put your feet in at once? How many times do you switch over your purses a month? Redirect, grow up. Cherish your marriage. This soft girl era stuff is a scam because women have been living in peace. Women been resting in their femininity. Women been choosing them while prioritizing their family in their relationships. Yes, I'm reading my notes because I got to make sure I read y'all down for what y'all are trying to sell. Y'all trying to repackage and sell to women who been living soft without pressure, stress, fear, anxiety, or manipulation attached. I do not have to talk nice to my husband. I do not have to, no, let me take that back because I talk nice to him. I do not have to talk in a soft voice to my husband. I do not have to cower or act like I'm a helpless sheep for him to love me and want to provide, to protect, right? This household, I don't have to do that. I don't have to reconstruct me to exist in his life, in his space, and to earn his love. None of these other women had to do these things. I know quite a few stay-at-home wives and mothers from my childhood. I know quite a few. And back in the day, for Black women, that was highly unlikely. But it was respected and expected for the man to take care of his household, and he did. And those women did not have to talk no kind of soft or act like they were lower than to gain that level of respect and collaboration in their homes. So now that women are being told to prioritize their femininity and step out of their masculine energy and let a man step into his place, it's like, why you got to be instructed? Why can't you just not be resting in the energy that is you? And then when a man comes along and relieves some of I'm not gonna say requirements. What are those words? What's that word? When you have to, responsibilities. When a man comes along and he relieves you of those responsibilities of paying all of your bills or, paying for all of your trips or whatever, that's just a bonus. All of this talk of as soon as you start dating someone, he should be paying your rent. What? Where do they do that at? When do you expect a man that is not legally bound to you to take care of your lifestyle because he's calling your phone and taking you out to eat and possibly getting a piece of the tail? You're choosing to do all of these things as well. This is what you're being sold. This is why it's a scam. It's telling you to play with your own interest, play games at your own, at a risk level that you will possibly capture someone. And now you all can see why some men are just not interested in committing because they don't know if what they're getting is actually a representative or the actual person. And this is a problem. So here it goes. Don't let modern culture make you think this is new. It's not. Y'all just bought into the independent women hype and got left holding the bag instead of your man. Don't get left holding your bag instead of holding on to the man that you actually want. You can go for whatever you want. You can go for the career. You can go for the education. You can go for the high salary. Get all of that. If that's what you want, get it. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't think that you can have that and then play games with a whole nother human who knows their value too and trick them into loving you and rescuing you from having to do any of that stuff. You wanted it, so have it. But trust and believe that you can have both. You can. Anything that makes you think differently is pretty much tricking yourself out of your own joy. I am proud of how far I've come as an individual, being married since 21. And from the span of 2016 to 2019, I was a full-time stay-at-home mom. So I have not worked a job since 2016. I quit my job in 2016 in May when our son turned 1. And I have not worked a job since then. And we're 6 years out. Me and my husband do not have to have regular conversations, or prior to me, us starting a business together. We did not have to have conversations about whether or not I deserve to work, whether or not I need to work, I deserve not to work, or I'm watching the kids and that's my benefit of being a kept wife. None of that. Just married, just going through life with the expectations of what we desire for our household. I don't have to switch up and become any more of a subservient person to my husband because he's doing me a favor by taking care of our home while I don't work outside of the house. This is mutually respectful. We're together in life, in love, in leadership. So we're not one step behind, we're 2 steps together. Like, do y'all see what I'm saying? So when I determined that I wanted to start a business in 2019, that he'd already encouraged me and pretty much begged me to start years prior, when I finally said I wanted to do that, he was lockstep with me. Every decision made now, present day, lockstep with me. He. Probably wasn't proper English, but I don't care. You all have to understand, don't let nobody sell you out. Don't let nobody trick you out of what's natural. This is normal. Nothing going on over here is a unicorn situation. It's the expectation level of those who know who they are and they're not trying to switch it up to get somebody else. Because you're going to have to keep switching in order to convince or to keep. I don't want to have to live a life trying to change my masks often. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not doing it. Not doing it. So at first it was okay to be independent women. Shout out to Destiny's Child. Shout out to Lil Boosie. It was okay to be independent women, but now you're literally being told to switch it up. Wait a minute. You're showing too much independence. Be a little needy. Be a little clingy. Be a lot of feminine. Tell him what you need. Be nice. Be his piece. And watch him give you what you want. Games. Shout out to Mattel and Hasbro, because you're going to be living life by your loan. By yourself. You're going to be living life by your loan. Because when men get done playing with you, because you're playing a game, you're going to still be alone. And they're going to be okay being alone because they're going to be able to find more women that think like that. Versus more women who are like, I don't want to play games. I know what I want. I know what I deserve. And I know what I'm moving towards. Togetherness. We can build together. You make 65, I make 52. Boom. We already at six figures. People that think progressive like that instead of, now he got to be doing this or more. Okay, so you're already setting standards saying that they're not good enough if they don't do this. But what if you're not good enough because you don't do that? Imbalance from jump. When women who have been living in this soft woman era, been doing it for years, decades, centuries, and never had to have any of these none of these rules to play by. None of these standards to live up to prove that you were soft or feminine. I say we are teaching women how to be feminine. I cannot imagine it. I just cannot imagine it. I cannot imagine telling my daughter or teaching my daughter how to be soft. Be you. Like, what are we doing right now? Act needy in order to get more. My God. So I next up, I'm going to talk about the art of balance, right? So I wrote here that there is balance there's an art of balancing your power as a woman and as a man as well. Like between your career, your desires, and the outcome. Like how to do both at once, like what you want in your love life and what you want professionally. And it is an art to balancing the two. What I want for my business and what I want for my household are two separate things. But I know how to go after one without the other being affected. So I know how to be a CEO for my company, and I know how to be the CEO in my home, right? I understand that. And how my husband is the COO in our company and the chief operating officer in our home. I understand that. I understand the roles and the power there, where there's no struggle. Like, I'm not trying to compete with my husband to make the same amount of money. I don't want to do that. That would make me have to work a whole hell of a lot harder and take on a whole hell of a lot more stress and a whole hell of a lot more pressure, which is what some people out here want to compete for. I'm not interested, because I get to flow and enjoy what I create over here. And then I get to enjoy and flow in the fruit of the labor that you put in over here. And it's a beautiful marriage in between. Balance for our children and our family. So while I'm a CEO, I'm also a mom and a wife and a teacher, a mentor to people outside of my home, but I'm an inspiration internally inside of my home. And I'm a lover and I'm a friend and I'm respectful. It's the well-roundedness for me, not perfection, but well-rounded. To know the difference of the two and to not let those things make you a good or a bad person, but the right person for your situation. So there is ability to balance it if you understand that you don't have to trick nobody into loving you. That's my point. You don't have to trick nobody into loving you. You don't. I have the power to do what makes me happy and keeps me at peace. And that's what I focus on. And that is indeed what I focus on. The things that make me happy and keep me at peace. Because I know that without that happiness and that internal joy, I cannot be the best wife or mother or business owner for those around me. So that's the focus. The focus isn't tricking my husband to see me as feminine and needy. It's to make him happy that, hey, I create a stable foundation and environment for my wife to thrive. Just like we both as parents create a stable, safe environment for our children to thrive. This soft woman era is creating little monsters. It's creating monsters that will then have to peel back the layers when they feel like popping off. But I thought you was cool. I thought you talk soft. No, bitch, I don't. At the end of the day, he ain't finna play with me. But you were soft girl last week. What is going on right now? That's not true. It's going to be a conflict. It's going to always be a back and forth, a push and pull, because you're not really being you. You're being someone new to get someone else. And when the ground gets shaky, it's no longer a safe place for you to stay in that mask. You have to change it up. Dangerous, and it's giving scam. So I think at the end of the day, what I want to convey in the message that I want to present to you is stop comparing your life to others. Don't look at Sierra and Russell. Don't look at Serena and Alexis, or is it Alex? Alexis Ohanian. Don't look at her and her husband. Don't look at what just happened with Tamara or Tia. Shall I get it mixed up? Tia and her husband. Stop the comparisons. Live in your truth. Live in what you know. Live for your value and know your worth. You don't have to be out here camouflaging and changing it up for every Tom, Dick, and Jonathan. You don't. Everybody should not get different versions of you. Be true to you. You deserve that level of consistency, because it's going to be very hard to come out your bag as someone else in 3 to 6 months. It's only so long you really can be a shapeshifter before a situation or something triggers you to show who you are. Or if something shifts or changes in that man's situation, what are you going to do then? You going to leave him because he ain't got what you thought he had or should have kept? Soft woman era is something you should flow in, period. You shouldn't have to talk soft or do nothing or change your aesthetic to meet that standard. Women have been living in their peace. Women have been taking care of their families and prioritizing their happiness and making sure their relationship is stable. Women have been being kept. Shout out to Leave It to Beaver season and era. Women have always had these things available to them. Why on earth is it now becoming popular? Because y'all stepped away from the experience. You wanted to go out there and challenge it. For whatever reason, that's fine. But what I'm saying now is, don't sell yourself short, because when a man realizes that they are being played with, it is going to be over with. And that is not going to be fun for your emotions. So do not tap into something just because you feel like you're going to get the burden lifted off your shoulders. Ooh, child, I ain't got to pay this no more. I ain't got to do that. Oh, he paid for everything. He always doing this. That's cool. but you should be looking to be an asset too. I'm an asset over here. I'm not a liability. I carry and I pull my weight. I am very valuable to my husband, as he is to me. So know your worth and add taxes. But it's not a time or a season for you to be constricting and dumbing yourself down just to hook a man. Don't do that, because you're probably going to get the one you don't want and the one that ain't going to play with you in the event of you turning the leaf. That's all I'm saying. Okay. All right. So hopefully this video has been, insightful and, meaningful for a lot of you. I got my first experiences of the soft woman era when I was growing up as a kid, seeing, women from our churches that had husbands who worked in the steel mill, who worked in engineering, who worked in IT, who took care of their families. And it wasn't called soft girl era back then. And I don't know who came up with this now, but I don't like that. Because our women, us as women, have always had these options available. Always. It's never been something that was removed from us or taken. We just kind of stepped away from the table because we wanted to be the one to put the table together, order it, put it together, and set it. So when you've been allowed to set it, now you don't want to do that no more. And that's fine. But all I'm saying is, don't try to become someone new if that's not really you. Maturity will always change you. Always. It has done a great work in me. I can definitely tell you that, because your girl used to be a little low-key reckless. Okay. But I'm grateful for knowing more, knowing better now. And for having a mom with so much wisdom, to tell me, even as a divorcee, as a divorced woman, telling me to value my home, to turn my heart back towards home, to make sure home was always good, not to let possessions rule me, not to want a whole bunch of material things that my husband would end up having to be away from home more just to make sure we can maintain those things. So my desires changed, and so has my life, so has my family. So much more is available, because I don't see my husband as only my provider or my means to an end, but I see him as my very best friend, my partner in life, and everything goes through the two of us. It's not one against the other. I'm not in competition. I'm definitely not taking advantage of his love, but I am definitely leveraging. I'm leveraging the amazing balance and the abundance that comes from me letting him do what he desires to do. So think about that. And let's have the discussion down in the comment section below. Do you adhere to the soft woman or soft girl era? Guys, were you even aware that this was something that women were doing and pursuing and using to bait men or to make them more interested in them from the softer side of Sears? Because a lot of men don't know that these things are actually happening. But I just thought, like, in a great, way to talk about life, love, and relationships, that we would dive into it, and that I can kind of like just shed some light on why it can be harmful in the long run, because you want something that's going to last a long time and someone that's not going to expect you to keep up a ruse, if you will. Be you from the beginning and let maturity do a work in you that only can stay. Okay? All right. If you've enjoyed the video, like it and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to add you to my 2 cents crew. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next video. Take care and be kind to others and experience all the love. All right? Bye.